All right. Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the War Room. So, hey, this is episode 8. This is measuring success. So we're going to get started. And so it's been a while since I posted a video, and I meant to get this out a couple days ago. And sometimes life happens. So, hey, here we go. We're going to dive into it. I do have an agenda and some notes. All right. So if I periodically glance over and look down, it's because I'm trying to stay on track. All right. So episode 8, it's September 6th. But first, I want to give a good shout out to my never failed sponsor today, the coffee in my cup. Cheers. All right, episode 8, measuring success. Well, there's some key questions, because for you and for me, success is measured in different instruments. The picture looks different for everybody. So how do you measure success? Are you a successful individual? Man or woman? Married or single? Kids, no kids? Professional career? Whatever. How do you measure success for you? And then what does success look like? Because like I just said, success looks different for everybody. Before we kind of dive into that, I want to do a short recap. I did a 3-part series on leadership, and I got some really good positive reviews. I think for a baseline topic of leadership, which could be so much more in-depth, layer after layer after layer, I feel like it was pretty successful. However, if you've been watching these shows and you're a new subscriber or you leave a comment, man, I salute you. Thank you. Continue to watch this. I said in one of my very first episodes, and I'm only 8 episodes deep into this thing, I said that I would talk about certain topics that I don't think anyone's talking about. I talked about PTSD. I've talked about the relative difference between a combat veteran and a peacetime veteran. Leadership, you name it. I've shared some stories about real world experience. But here's one thing that I didn't really talk about in leadership that I want you to know. We're talking about measuring success. And in the realms, the spectrum of leadership, because there's so many different layers and levels of leadership, some of that encompasses your own personal life. I'm married, all right? I've been married for over 24 years, 24 and a half, pretty much. And I haven't always had the most successful time as a husband. I won't talk about details, but the focus is me. I've made a million mistakes. You've heard me say that. I want to make something clear to the audience. I can be difficult. I talked about in leadership, people can be difficult. I didn't always do things the way I should have done the first time as a husband and as a father. And I want you to know that because I'm sincere and I'm real. And I will tell you, this is my own personal belief, and I'm not digging on anyone. If you look at everyone that has a podcast, a YouTube show, this, that, or the other, and on the outside, man, it looks awesome. It looks great. Man, that together. That is a successful individual. That's a successful leader. But I'm telling you, you start peeling the onion back, life happens. So I just want to be very clear. Everything that you see, whether it's on the particular social media platform that I'm on, this YouTube channel, The War Room, I do put my best foot forward. But I would tell you, I haven't always been there for my children the way I should have been. I've made a million mistakes. And so I just wanted to clear that up in my personal leadership life. And lastly, I'll just end it with this. If you compare yourself with the people that are around you or the people that you watch, and you say, I don't measure up to that and I never will, don't do that. Mike, but I thought we were supposed to have a mentor. We're supposed to have someone that we look up to, someone that we gravitate to, that we want to emulate. Yes. But I will tell you what, everyone's been created in their own unique way. You are you, they are them, I am me. Mike, that sounds like a lot of word salad. Listen to me. Take the good, the bad, and the ugly, and make yourself the best version of you with all those influences that are around you. But I'm telling you, it's a dangerous game when you start comparing yourself and then criticizing your own self because your measure of success doesn't measure up to those who are at a position that you're trying to strive to get to. Here's my point. One step at a time, one day at a time, one experience at a time, because you've heard me say it, how you gain experience? Through experience. All right, that was the recap on leadership. We're going to move on to a little bit of measuring success. In one of my past videos, I talked about books, and I talked about seminars and TED Talks and all these things that you can do to learn how to be a better individual, how to be a better leader, and how to be successful. But I'm telling you, it's difficult to truly understand, well, how do you measure success? What are your goals, your aspirations, and the things that are in your life that you look at and say, hey, I have set goals. I have things that I want to achieve in my life. I have certain expectations of the outcome. And if I don't meet that expectation and the outcome wasn't what I thought it should be, then guess what? Those are all building blocks. And you can choose to stack each building block one on top of each other and learn from those, because it only gets higher. Again, it sounds cliche. My point is how do you measure success? I don't know. I know how I measure it for me in my interests, and I'll tell you right now, you look on the wall behind you, none of those can't even point to them. None of those medals. Yeah, right there. Man, that means nothing. That's not success. The deer hanging on the wall, that's not how I measure success. Digging a little bit deep, you want to know if you're a successful person? Not in your own eye. You go ask the people that are very close to you. Your wife, your husband, your kids. Maybe some of your best friends that you're close to, or your coworkers. But I'm telling you, the people that are right here, that see you every day, ask them. They'll tell you if you're successful or not. Again, my point is, how do you measure it? How do you measure success? Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to talk about a few stories, and this will be kind of a short video, but I just want you to think. Do I measure success by my personal goals and aspirations, and then I weigh it on what the outcome was? And if I'm happy, success. If I'm not happy, move on. All right, move on. But again, it's a dangerous game because I've done it. I've looked at this person and that person and said, well, they're doing this and they're doing that, and this is how they got to a level of success. And I'm trying everything that I possibly can to reach that height. And whatever. You talk yourself out of it. You know, the war room, it's not just about combat and military life and war, but a lot of that is a part of me. You spend so much time engrossed into a professional career that it never leaves you. The good, bad, or ugly, it never leaves you. So here I am. I'm a private first class. I've been in the Army for a little over 4 years. Oh, 4 years? You should be a specialist. Had a small break in service. Here's my point. I'm on an airplane headed to Seoul, Korea. I'm going to go do a tour in the 1st of the 503rd Infantry, right below the DMZ, at Camp Casey, Korea. I'm on the aircraft, and guess who's sitting 2 rows behind me that comes by and says, "Hey, Messmer, it's been a long time." Holy smokes. Then Staff Sergeant Mike Hessick, all right, Ranger, all right, 25th ID, 101st, this, that, and the other. Here's my point. You want to talk about a success story and a leader, all right? In everything he's done, he's been successful. He's helped others along the way. And for him, when those individuals, when they're successful, then he's successful. Man, just a great shout out to Mike Hessick, and I'll let him know that I gave him a shout out in this. So here I am. I'm a private, peeling the onion back. I'm in Hawaii, the 25th ID, and Mike Hessick was a squad leader. This is how successful he was as a squad leader. In our deployment to Egypt, we conducted a battalion EIB, expert infantry badge session. All right, about a two week long process. Took about a month to plan. My point is, he invested every ounce of energy into his squad to help them be set up for success. Because believe it or not, the EIB, it's just an expert infantry badge, Mike. It's just another pretty badge. No, I tell you what, in the world of infantry, your EIB, your PT score, Ranger tab, drill sergeant, and recruiter. It'll make you or break you, whether you get promoted to Sergeant First Class, Master Sergeant. Oh, there's other factors. Here's my point. Staff Sergeant Mike Hessick, his entire infantry squad got their EIBs, and he was awarded for it, all right, and earned every second of it. But it wasn't about the award. It wasn't about the accolades from the battalion and Captain Carson, who was our captain at the time. He did it for his men. Yeah, awesome. Anyway, I'm on the plane, and it just happens to be Mike Hessick from our days in Hawaii. And he was talking to me a little bit, and he goes, "Hey, so you're going to be in Korea for a year. You're a PFC. You got any goals?" No. Write them down. And then he walked away. And I said, holy smokes. On the aircraft, there I am. I said, well, I want to leave in a year. I'm a private first class. I want to be a sergeant. Well, Mike, if you're a private first class, how did you leave and become a sergeant? Because I fast-tracked. Because actually, I'd already been selected to be promoted to specialist. My paperwork was in transition from Fort Carson to Korea. Long story. My 3 goals that I wrote down on the aircraft because someone invested a little bit of time in planting a seed in me. Measure of success. Planted a seed, and I acted on it. I wrote down on I think it was a napkin or a piece of paper. I want to become a sergeant. I want to get my air assault wings. All right, and I want to get my sergeant air assault wings. I drew a blank. All right, I drew a blank. Anyways, I can't. My point is, I walked away from Korea and I went to air assault school. I was promoted to sergeant, and I just can't remember. Anyways, yeah, he planted the seed. How do you measure success? When I look back and I think, you know what? Yeah, that was a very successful tour for me. Anyways, okay, so how do you measure success? All right, when I was in the military, outward appearance. Yeah, someone walks in the room and they've got all these fancy badges. Yeah, you pay attention a little bit until they start talking. Because I'm telling you what, you can quickly figure out, is he a badge wearer You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Or does he truly care about his job and the soldiers he has an opportunity to influence? So my point is I came back from Iraq the first time, and we had already had our combat infantry badge CIB ceremony. I'm not going to go into the details of that. But we get back stateside, and I'm like, I'm not wearing my CIB. Yeah. What are you too lazy to go to the sew shop and get one sewed on and pay a couple of bucks? No. This was me. Listen to me. I saw some dudes that got killed, maimed, all jacked up, and I thought to myself, you know what? I just didn't feel confident and comfortable in wearing my CIB because yes, I was comparing myself thinking, man, I'm good to go. I saw some stuff. I did some stuff. All right. But there's always another individual who saw more, did more, experienced more, and I just didn't feel worthy. All right, so how do you measure success? To me, it's not the badges you wear. It's your personal conduct on a daily basis. Point in case, the battalion commander said something to the NCO and the officer that was in charge of our little group. I was in transition, so I was at the battalion level in S3 as the brigade was getting ready to go to Vilseck, Germany. So my NCO came to me and said, hey, Messmer, you're not wearing a CIB. Just curious why. Well, I kind of told him. He's like, all right. He goes, well, it's been noted, and the battalion commander, if you went through the ceremony and you earned it, you're gonna wear it. And I said, hey, I respect you. I respect you. I'm not wearing it. Well, he didn't press the issue. He's like, all right. About a week later, he comes to me. He goes, hey, we gotta talk about it again. The battalion commander said you to wear your EIB. And I said, you know what? I would be more than happy to walk out that door right now with you or unaccompanied, and I'll go address the battalion commander, and I will tell him man to man, all right, in a respectful manner, why I'm not going to wear my CIB. Messmer, you have till Friday to wear the CIB. Roger that. All right, so here's the deal. Did I press the issue? No. Measure of success. That CIB did not mean anything to me at the time. That's not how I measured success. I went and bought a pin-on subdued CIB, and I wore it. And then a week later, I wore it for a few days. And then, as a jackweed, I went and got my uniform that had the EIB. And I wore my EIB, and no one ever said anything to me again. Anyways, let's move on. Measure of success. I will tell you, listen to me. I've sent about a dozen individuals to sniper school, and most of them all passed. It was a very successful. How do you measure success? Well, let me share with you one thing. When you can sit back and say that your squad has the highest PT score average in the platoon, yep, I checked that block. The company, yep, checked that block. The battalion, the brigade, all right? I'm telling you, for a 10, a regular infantry squad has 9 soldiers. A battalion sniper section has about 10. To have the highest PT average where most of us all had 300 plus, 3 on the extended scale, 320. I had a 317. Woo, that's nothing. My point is, that's how you measure success, all right? You look at the data. You can measure success that way. The words coming out of my mouth, I said it, we did it, and it was proven. Here's my point. I cannot, how do I say this? Because retired and active duty and some of my friends who might be commissioned officers or non-commissioned officers are probably going to watch this. Don't read too much into it. I cannot stand leaders. I won't say commissioned officer You can figure it out. I can't stand leaders who ask open-ended, stupid questions. Or they make a comment and you're just supposed to automatically respect that comment because of the oak leaf cluster on the front of your chest. Or the diamond or the star. So one of my snipers went to Fort Benning and didn't pass the stalking lane. Passed everything else, all right? And so he gets sent back, and we just happen to be in battalion resubmitting the paperwork so he could come back, get his mind clear, go back, and pass the U.S. Army Sniper School. A certain individual walked up out of the blue and said, oh, right in front of me and the soldier, was addressing my soldier and said, hey, I heard you failed sniper school. Now, my soldier's sitting there as an E4, doesn't really know what to say because he's looking at the rank. Holy smokes. I'm in a precarious predicament. Do I just say, roger that, sir? No. You know what? Staff Sergeant Messmer is here. I walked up and said, hey, excuse me, sir. No, he didn't fail. Now, in a respectful way, he didn't fail sniper school. He just didn't meet the standard at a particular time on a particular day, and he got sent home. But guess what? We're resubmitting his paperwork, and in 2 weeks, a month, he's going back to sniper school, and he will pass. He just didn't meet the standard on a particular time and day. The battalion commander, there I said it, the battalion commander looked at me with shock and awe. I don't think he expected two things. Number one, an answer like that. All right. Number two, I don't think he expected that I would come up and defend my soldier. Man, how do you measure success? I hate the F word, failure. Yet, do you fail? Of course. All right. Yeah. But it's all about the way you look at it. So that soldier, he never told me until after the fact. That really ticked him off. Not me. He's like, hey, that's my squad leader defending me from a stupid comment. All right. Oh, I heard you failed sniper school. Ha ha ha. That's how it comes across. Don't do that. Don't be ugly. You know what? Ronald Berlin. If you watch this and you're down in Texas, man, that dude is successful, man. Successful. He went back to Benning with one goal. I don't want to let Sergeant Messmer down. And he passed U.S. Army Sniper School with flying colors. He didn't fail. Here's another one. How do you measure success? I'll tell you what. I had a commander that would walk around the battalion area and looking for individuals. And he'd key in on him and walk away. Hey, come here, soldier. What have you done for the Army today? I don't know. I'm just trying to go to chow because I'm hungry. You know, yeah, I've seen it. What have you done for the Army today? Well, I tell you what, in a sarcastic way, all right, this would be my answer, and I'm being real. Well, let me remind you, sir, what I've already done for the Army, all right? I'm part of the 1% that rose his hand, or her, and swore an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, both foreign and domestic, so help me God. So you know what? Every day that I lace up my boots and I put my uniform on, you know what I'm really saying that I'm doing for the Army and the better good of the nation, the people that live within the continental United States? That at any given day, I will pick up a rifle and I will fight to the death and defend what I truly believe is worth fighting for. That's what I did for the Army yesterday, today, tomorrow, next month, and for however many years God has me serving in the best army in the entire world, the United States Army. That's my answer, sir. Man, come on. How do you measure success? Is it with questions like that? No. Here's my point. Man, whether that story was good or not, it happened. It happened. And stuff like that happens all the time. They are ripping this up. Ripping this up. Here's my point. We're at 24 minutes. We're pretty much done with episode 8, measuring success. Mike, you didn't give me anything. You didn't give me a list. You didn't give me some whatever. You didn't give me something to read. You didn't give me something to aspire to. Think about it. Woo! Think about it. You want to measure success? Number one, look in the mirror and ask yourself this one question. Am I willing to do whatever it takes in a good way? Am I willing to do whatever it takes to meet the end state, the results of the goals and the aspirations that I have for my life, whether it's personal, professional, or sport, whatever? It starts with you. It starts with you. You all know that I spent 7 years as an Army sniper. And how do you measure success? My first group of snipers are some great guys. They are. But man, I made a million mistakes. And I told myself when it was all said and done, I never told anybody this. I said, you know what, Mike? If you ever get an opportunity to be in this position again, you're going to learn from your mistakes. You're going to get it right. One day I sat myself down on my front porch with a cup of coffee and a notebook. On page 1, page 2, and page 3, I wrote all the things that I did wrong the first time. And the remainder of the pages, I wrote out exactly what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, what it was going to look like, and then I put that plan into action. One day at a time, one step at a time, and you see the picture on the back wall, all right, right below the field of blue and the stars. That is only half of that group of snipers that was the most epic and successful. Measuring success, I didn't do anything. They did it. You look at their life. I've already talked about this. Here's my point. Yeah, I'll leave you just with one thing to do. Look yourself in the mirror and measure success. One step at a time. Woo! Check it out. That was episode 8. All right, we're at 27 minutes. I'm going to end this episode. Hey, check it out. I really hope that you enjoy some of these short episodes. How do I measure success in this, the war room? Well, first of all, if I guess I'm going to go a little bit longer. You would not believe how many times I've quit. Mike, you kind of have an audience. You got a nice setup. You do have an ability to articulate certain ideas in a way that is captivating, comical, but real. You can hold an audience. But how do you measure success in this? Is it by 1 million subscribers? I don't know. Is it by this, that, and the other and getting monetized? I don't know. But I'll tell you what. Here's how I measure success. If one of you is inspired by even one thing that I say, success. Success. Hey, check it out. Next week will be episode 9. 9/11. My 9/11 special. Don't miss it. Woo! Whatever you decide to do today, make it great. Hey, this has been the War Room episode 8. Make it great. Woo!